Mr. Moore, it is this court's understanding that you are going to be pleading no contest to 2 misdemeanor charges. How do you plead?
No contest.
Former Michigan football coach Sherrone Moore was facing a felony home invasion charge, but that charge just disappeared. Let's talk about the plea deal that changed everything. I want to give y'all a quick legal update on Sherrone Moore because there has been a significant development in his case. As of March 6, Sherrone Moore has entered a plea deal that resolves the most serious charge he was facing. And under that agreement, Moore pleaded no contest to 2 misdemeanor charges. Let's listen in.
Mr. Moore, it is this court's understanding that you are going to be pleading no contest to 2 misdemeanor charges. The first charge is the added count 4 of malicious use of a telecommunications device involving a domestic relationship. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 6 months incarceration and a $1,000 fine plus court costs. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
And also the added count 5 of trespass. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 30 days in jail and or a fine not to exceed $250. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Misuse of a telecommunications device and trespass. Now here's the big headline. The felony charge is gone.
Understand what a no contest plea is?
Yes, sir.
All right. 2 things about a no contest plea I have to make sure that you understand. First thing is that it first of all means that you're not further desirous or wanting to contest these 2 charges. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Second thing you need to understand is that for purposes of sentencing, the court is going to treat you the same as though you had pled guilty. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
As part of the plea agreement, the 3rd-degree home invasion felony charge was dismissed, along with 2 additional misdemeanor charges tied to an alleged incident involving his then personal assistant and mistress, Paige Shiver. And that happened back on December 10th. The felony home invasion charge that was dismissed came with a 5-year prison sentence if convicted. And according to ESPN, this plea deal essentially reshapes the entire case. What originally started with a felony allegation has now been reduced to 2 misdemeanor convictions through a no contest plea.
Basis for the no contest plea, counsel?
The basis for the no contest plea is civil liability, civil litigation.
Got it. So more to the charge of malicious use of a telecommunications device. How do you plead?
No contest.
To the charge of trespass. How do you plead?
No contest.
Now you understand that by pleading no contest, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, sir.
You understand that by pleading no contest, you're waiving or giving up the rights that are contained on that form.
Yes, sir.
Particularly the rights that are contained under paragraph 5. You'll see a copy on the podium, which are your trial rights. You understand that you're giving up those.
Yes, sir.
And for those who may not be familiar with the term no contest or nolo contendere, means Moore is not admitting guilt, but he is accepting the court's judgment and penalties as if he were convicted. Now, another interesting wrinkle in this case involves how the arrest warrant was handled. During earlier proceedings, the judge reportedly criticized the initial arrest warrant, saying that it contained omissions that were misleading. Because of those concerns, the court actually granted an evidentiary hearing to examine the circumstances surrounding the warrant and allegations. You can check out one of my more recent videos on the evidentiary hearing surrounding this case. That detail was highlighted in coverage by WDIV-TV, which reported on the judge's comments during the court proceedings. So when you step back and look at the full picture, this case took a notable turn. It started with a felony home invasion charge. Questions were raised about how the warrant was written. And now it ends with a plea to 2 misdemeanors while the felony charge is dismissed.
From the beginning, we maintain that the felony, stalking charge, and the entering without permission charge, all the charges against Mr. Moore, were not supported by facts and law. After the court granted our motion for a Franks hearing and the omissions and the detective's affidavit were examined, those charges have been dismissed.
So at this point, the case is essentially moving toward final sentencing and closure, barring any unexpected developments.
The dismissal of those charges validates the concerns we raised about the investigation from the very beginning.
Now, of course, plea deals like this are pretty common in the legal system. Prosecutors sometimes agree to reduce charges in exchange for a guaranteed resolution. while defendants accept a plea to avoid risk and consequences of a felony conviction.
We feel the most appropriate charges to address the defendant's behavior on December 10th of 2025 are two additional counts 4 and 5. We would be seeking to add a count of what we call malicious use of a telecommunications device in the context of a domestic relationship, and then an additional count of trespass. Those are, as Your Honor is aware, misdemeanor matters.
Mr. Moore is pleased to put this behind him and move forward. Thank you.
We'll continue watching to see if any additional details about the December 10th incident or the terms of Moore's sentence becomes public. But for now, the biggest takeaway is simple. The felony charge is off the table, and this case is resolving at the misdemeanor level. Sherrone Moore's sentencing hearing is scheduled for April 14th, and he faces up to 6 months in prison with this plea deal. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the plea deal was fair? Will Sherrone Moore serve prison time on the remaining charges? Meet me in the comments. We can continue the conversation there.